Brad Holmes did a good job in the draft, and I know a lot of people are piling on right now. A lot of people are giving him grief, especially in round one, for getting the players that they did. And I'm going to talk about why I think they did a really good job in the 2023 NFL Draft. So bear with me. I'm going to give you my reasons why I think they did good and why they did what they did. But before we get into today's video, if you are a fan of the Detroit Lions, then make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Why is that? Because we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors on Lions Nation Unite. It literally is dedicated to the Lions, and you get a fan perspective like myself and a former player in Herman Moore. Let's go. I liked the Lions draft. A lot of people did not. When we were live at the casino there with Herman Moore and Everything King, Chrissy, and Dosa Dion, the reactions was really interesting to see when they took Jahmyr Gibbs. They traded out of 6 and went to 12. A lot of people frustrated with Jalen Carter. I've been saying it for a while. The Lions were not going to draft Jalen Carter. They had him off the board. They didn't like him. He was not a culture fit in their opinion. So I knew they weren't going to take Jalen Carter. So when the Devin Witherspoon was taken earlier than expected, I think it pushed the Lions to, okay, we're going to take a trade there because the players that they probably wanted was not available. Now, they could have took Tyree Wilson. I thought that would be the route they go, but they decided to trade and acquire another second-round pick and really helping the Lions out with multiple picks in round 2. But let me know, were you upset? Are you happy with the Lions draft? Let me know in the comment section on this question because I'm curious to see what you think. I'm going to tell you why I'm fine with it. I wanted to see all round 2 go first and round 3 before I really made my judgment. So Jahmyr Gibbs, yeah, was he taken a little bit early? Yeah, I do. If I look at my board, for sure. I had a late first, early second round grade on Jahmyr Gibbs. That's 100%. Jack Campbell, I'm fine at 18. I love Jack Campbell. You've known this. I've talked about him multiple times. Potentially you could have got him in round 2. I don't know because he was really flying up boards. I really was starting to believe before the NFL draft he would be a mid-20s player. So if they really coveted him, instead of trading back and potentially losing out on him, just take him at 18. I'm completely fine with that because he is a great linebacker. He fits a need. He's going to make the defense much better. It's a win-win-win, and I absolutely love that. The Jahmyr Gibbs was early for me. But at the same time, did anybody expect Brian Branch to be at 45? Absolutely not, myself included. I was a proponent of not taking Brian Branch at 6 or at 10 if we traded back. What if we would have took Brian Branch at 12 and Jahmyr Gibbs at 45? Would anybody be complaining about that? Besides just, okay, because he is a top 15 player in the draft. He's worthy of the 12th pick in the draft. Personally, I would want to wait maybe till 18 when I was thinking about a Brian Branch. But if you would have took Brian Branch at 12 and Jahmyr Gibbs at 45, no one would be complaining about it. At the end of the day, you got the players on your football team. Doesn't really matter where you drafted it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, if we would have drafted him in round 1, people would complain to high heaven that we took this wide receiver way too early. But you look now, hell no, it wouldn't have been early because he's been absolutely a stud. So that's the way you got to look at it. If Jahmyr Gibbs comes out and is a stud, in which he's really good in the run and the pass game, it doesn't really matter. Jack Campbell comes out stud, doesn't really matter at that point. And Brian Branch is a stud. He is. He's gonna be really good. We got our secondary is absolutely amazing right now. So I'm fine with that. I couldn't believe he was still. I honestly didn't even know he was there. When they said Brian Branch at 45, I couldn't believe he was still even on the board. I just assumed he was gone because he's such a big talent. So that was a massive value pick. And then getting Hendon Hooker in round 3, value pick. I had a second-round grade on him. I had the Lions drafting him at 55, and we get him at 68. That's a great value for Hendon Hooker, our backup this year, who's going to heal up and potentially be our future quarterback and you got him in round 3. Extremely accurate, 69.6 completion percentage. That's amazing. 27 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Absolutely amazing. Smart. He's a dual threat quarterback. Yes, he blew out his leg in college, but you don't have to start a backup quarterback right now. Even if he was healthy, he would be the backup quarterback. Jared Goff would be the starter. So at the end of the day, you're getting a player who potentially could be a starter in the 3rd round. I think that's a value pick. Then you get Sorsdale, the offensive lineman. I like that pick. Again, I thought the Lions should go offensive line in round 5 or 6, and they end up getting him in round 5, and I'm perfectly fine with that. He could play guard, backup guard. I mean, he's not going to start right away. You don't need a guy to start right away. We already got Big V, and we got Glasgow, but you needed to get a backup guy who can develop. He comes in there, he can develop, and he potentially could play right tackle in the future, and then that gives you options and universal at the offensive line position, just like you need. What if Penei Sewell goes down halfway through the year for a couple games? You can move over. You could probably move him to right side. So it's one of those deals where you're getting a good player. Sam Laporta, the tight end. I was not happy about that selection. I'm gonna keep it real with you. But if he comes out and balls as a tight end, am I gonna complain during the season? No. I will be happy. I will be happy for that. My concern about Laporta is we did not use the tight ends as much as we should, like a featured tight end, not just we're talking about 3 tight ends that we had, but a featured tight end. And so if we can utilize his skill set, it will be really good. I just have questions. Can we utilize that? I do have questions on that. But with that said, Brad Holmes felt he wanted to upgrade the tight end position, so he did. I'm just happy they didn't take a tight end in round 1. I think I would have lost it there. That would have been an explosion for sure. And then you get the defensive tackle, 330 pounds, a run-stuffing defensive tackle, late in the 3rd round, even though there's more of like a 6th round grade on this guy, but it's the same situation. If you feel he does a specific need, stop the run is what his need is, and he can help the Lions do it, that does really help, because we do need to stop the run on that defensive line. We got some young guys in there. It'd be nice, and we don't know what's going on Levi. Would I like to go DT a little bit earlier? Yeah, I would. Then we get the wide receiver to finish it out, 6'2", 4'4", 740. I think that's a value pick. I give that an A grade right there. You didn't need to get a guy earlier at wide receiver. You need to develop a guy. We got good, even with Jamison Williams out the first 6 weeks, you can use Jahmyr Gibbs, and we got pretty good depth at the wide receiver position. So you're getting a guy who has raw talent, developed that raw talent, and could be a good piece for the Detroit Lions going forward and developing process. So I love what they did there. Absolutely. Why did they go this route? I think because they believe they can win the NFC North and they can make a run. That's why. You don't go running back early unless you feel like this offense is pretty much complete with him in there. You don't go linebacker at 18 if you feel like, this defense can really take that big stand. Those picks to me showed that they're wanting to compete right now. This is not a build anymore. They want to compete right now, win the NFC North, and make a run. And how can I argue with that? That's what we want. This is year 3. We want them to win the NFC North and compete right now. Stop with the BS. You got an insurance policy with Hendon Hooker at the quarterback position. Much better than having Nate Sudfeld as your primary backup. Once he's healthy, he's good to go. So they think they could win the NFC North. That's what they did. They went and got players that can help us immediately. For sure. If Jahmyr Gibbs is this utility knife, is this player that can get it done for the Detroit Lions, this offense can take a giant step forward. An absolute giant step forward. And it's also we traded DeAndre Swift, right? So that means they didn't believe in DeAndre Swift, and now we got a guy who they believe in. Because we need to be an effective runner with David Montgomery and Gibbs. You got your fire and lightning. If you want to be a run-first team or a team that can run the football effectively anytime a part of the game, you need to have that lightning and thunder, and they got it. So how am I going to complain about getting that? Especially when Jahmyr Gibbs breaks off 55-yard touchdown. I think a lot of people are going to be pretty damn happy when that happens. Or he takes it out of the backfield, screen pass to the house because he's got lightning speed like that. I don't think anybody's going to complain at that point. Where you got him in the draft. You just got playmakers. Players to make plays. That's what we needed. That's what they got. So I am perfectly fine with this draft. I'm curious to see, though, what grade do you give it? I give it a B+, draft overall. My concerns, mixed with what they did, I'm going to give it a B+. I liked it. When they picked Jahmyr Gibbs, yeah, it was shocking at 12, but I wasn't hating on it. So I think, you give it a B+, and we got to wait, too. Just because we drafted these guys and their names, whether it be good or bad, you got to wait 3 years to see these guys really develop. We should be able to trust Brad Holmes at this point. He's done a pretty good job in the draft, getting players, helping this team out, building the roster up. So I think we should give him the benefit of the doubt, as it should be, and watch these players work on Sunday. Watch these players make some big-time plays for us because we need splash playmakers. We do. We need to have guys that can be a home run hitter. We need our Alvin Kamara. We need our DeAndre Levy. We need that. And potentially, we got that. So we'll be dropping videos on here every single day. Get ready for that. Hit that notification bell. Subscribe to the channel. Do all the lovely stuff to help this thing out because we're trying to grow Lions Nation Unite to the next level. LionsNationUnite.com for the latest and greatest gear so you can look good. With that said, folks, adios.